Hi, Suzanne, please mute. All right, everybody. Good evening. It's an evening in Kenya. That is why I'm saying good evening. I know there are people who are not from Kenya that are joining us. And so, uh, you're welcome to today's free webinar. And I would just want to know your careers, each and every one of you. So I would love to know, just type in which career you are in as we start this session. I would just want to know who is in the room. Given that we're talking about LinkedIn, how do you identify yourself? Are you an accountant? Are you a virtual assistant? Are you a doctor? Type in Doreen Wangari. I would request that you please have your video off so that it reduces any distractions, because we are seeing almost everything in your house. Thank you. All right, Esther is a medical virtual assistant, Sylvia is an executive assistant, Edith is a project program manager, Dorcas is an admin assistant, Linda is an executive assistant, Neema is an office assistant or secretary, into brackets. Interesting. Sandbox is Susan. Sorry guys, I'll have to log out so that I can log in with an account that I'm able to mute, because Susan is not able. Susan, please mute, or I remove you. Yeah, because I'll have to log in and log in with another account so that I can be able to remove those who cannot be able to mute. Sandbox is saying executive assistant, iGaming, client journey specialist. Steven is an AI automation. Lucy is aspiring to be a virtual assistant. Angela, nice to see you, Angela. And Susan, sales and marketing virtual assistant, nice to see you. Then there is Irene, who's a real estate agent. Pauline is a VA. Virtual assistants are so many. Lucy is a virtual assistant. Millicent, virtual assistant and customer service. Doreen, operations customer expert. Monitoring and evaluation, Abdul Latif. Benedict is an operations and supply chain specialist. Operation EA. Executive virtual assistant. Administration. Doris. Sarah is an operations and logistics officer. Great, nice to meet all of you. I'm seeing that the room is full of virtual assistants. And I can understand why, because it's one of the easiest careers that you can start with when you want to work remotely. Grace is saying it's a customer support, though not currently working, but she's also doing digital literacy training as a volunteer. Interesting. To meet all of you. Thank you so much for joining this monthly webinar. We normally have these webinars every first Saturday of the month. Yesterday I had traveled. That is why, my traveling was scheduled earlier. That is why we had to reschedule the webinar to Sunday. But all in all, we are here. It's working. We normally have different topics that we would want to talk about. We are also currently getting experts in different fields, and the experts in this case is people who have already gotten into remote work, and they have been able to monetize their different skills. So next month we might get an accountant that have helped to get into remote work, or a virtual assistant. Let me see who will agree to come first. One of my students, I'm going to have one of them so that they can come and share the experience on how it has been just work with them and get the roles that they have gotten into. This is going just to make us learn more the tips that you need to learn. That is the essence of us having these webinars each and every month, so that you can learn a thing or two and go and implement and be able just to accelerate your journey to get into remote work. And so today's topic is actually close to my heart. Turn your LinkedIn into a money making machine. Okay, I needed to put there money making. I didn't really thought I'm gonna mention it, but it's here. It's going to be just talking about how we can be able just to use our LinkedIn's to work for us and to be able to achieve the results that you need. Why LinkedIn? LinkedIn is the first platform. I know most of you have followed me for a long time. For a long time. If you have followed me, you already know that LinkedIn is the first platform that I got a client. It was a job, actually, not even a client, a full-time job that I'm still working up until today. It was a 2 years contract. And I've gotten multiple projects. I said that 90% of the projects that I've been able to work on remotely, I've gotten them from LinkedIn. And when I tell people about LinkedIn, I normally get a feedback, people telling me that LinkedIn does not work, LinkedIn does not work. How do we get to work with LinkedIn? And today we just want to debunk some of the things. I know there are people who have been following me. There might be some things new that I'm going to mention, but the formula still remains the same. If you want to really monetize on LinkedIn, there are things that you have to change about your LinkedIn and be able just to deliver whatever it is that you need to deliver. So today we're going to talk about landing remote jobs and high-paying clients, even with little or no experience. And the objectives that I'm going to give, we have 5 objectives that we're going to deal with, and then I'm going to give you a 30-day action plan. I've noticed that when I just talk and leave you guys there without an action plan, most of you don't even put in the action plan that they're supposed to take in. And so, who am I? I know there are people who are following me for the first time. You're listening to me for the first time. You just registered for the webinar and you said we are going to meet and have a conversation. And this is the first time you're meeting me. My name is John Batilam. I currently work as a technical project manager that specializes basically with the healthcare startups. Currently working with a startup called Altruistic that is in the United States. I also work with Institute of Project Management as the growth partner representing the East African community. That is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi. And I've heard that Ethiopia has also joined the league. So I work as someone who specializes basically with that. And yes, so I work with someone who specializes with IPM. Those of you who don't know, IPM is the Institute of Project Management in full. It's the governing institute that licenses the project managers in the whole world. And the other thing that I normally do, if you go on my LinkedIn, I know you're going to go to my LinkedIn, just check. I'm also I'm a project manager, sorry, in a financial institution that is called Tradecrafters, among many other projects that I normally do. I also coach and help people who want to get into remote work. I help them with their CVs, their LinkedIn's, packaging, AI interview preparations, normal interview preparations, the application process, and everything around that. So if you will need help in all those things, just feel free to reach out to me. I know my number is everywhere. Whatever platform that you've used to sign up for this, my number is there. So feel free to reach out so that I can be able to just connect and be able to help you to get into remote work. All right. So now let's move to the next step of this webinar. So what will you learn today? So what you're going to learn today is how to position yourself for remote jobs, even with little or no experience, especially on LinkedIn. That is the first thing that you're going to learn today. The second thing that you're going to learn today is how to optimize your LinkedIn profile so that you can be able to attract recruiters and clients. And then the third thing that you're going to learn is how to find opportunities without endless job applications, and then how to network and send messages that actually get replies, because I know that is where most people have a lot of the step-by-step plan on how to land your first role or client in 30 days. I'll be honest with you, I took 3 months for me to land my first client. But I think when I could have had the coach that I now have, because I still work with the coach up until today, it could have speeded up my process to get a role on LinkedIn or to get a client on LinkedIn. And so this is just a step-by-step plan on how to land a client in 30 days. And if you're able to follow through, you'll be 10 steps ahead of those who are actually looking for jobs. And so if you have any questions for this session, I'm just doing this alone. My assistant is not here today. So if you have any questions, you can just type in the comment section and I'll be able to pick it up once I finish the session, and then I'll be able just to answer that. At the end of this class, I'm going to give you a checklist on how to optimize your LinkedIn. We're going to go through it so that you can be able just to understand how to use the tool that I've created for each and every person that signed up. I think you've signed up for the webinar, almost 150 of you, 150 people signed up for this webinar. And so everyone that signed up for the webinar, I know I on Seller, the platform TopMate, when I told you to sign up, I said that you put in your email and your phone number. So if you are able to put in the correct data, because I'm seeing that some people are just putting in data for the sake of putting in. So if you put in the right email, you're going to receive the resources, that is the tools, and that is the checklist, the recording, and the checklist actually also has templates that you're going to use so that you can be able to send out and get clients on LinkedIn. So if you signed up for it, that is an added advantage. Whether you joined or not, the emails are going to be sent in bulk. So that means that everyone is going to get. All right, March, when I got these testimonials, these are mine. They're my testimonials, but I have got a lot of students that have gotten also jobs on LinkedIn, that have gotten interviews. Even there's one who is actually in the final stages. I'm hoping that in the next week is tomorrow, on Monday, that she's going to sign a contract to get into a job that she has gotten on LinkedIn. And so these are the testimonials. I was reached out to be an AI systems and automation specialist, and this was the amount that they were offering me per month, as you can see. And then there's another one here that this one was actually from my email. Someone saw my email, and that is why you really need to do a good revamp and make it easy for someone to come and actually reach out to you on your LinkedIn. So this was sent on my email, and then the second screenshot was actually sent on my DM. Also check your DMs. As you can see, the way we are talking, this is 10:08 p.m. I know she sent the message earlier, but when I saw it, I was able to reply immediately, 10:08, and you see 10:09, she had already gotten back. And we were able to just continue the conversation until where we got. And you can see the amount of money that was being paid for also this role. It's a social media management role. So I've gotten my job. I've told you guys that I've worked in, got it on LinkedIn. And this is the story. The client is in the US. She's a nurse. She's a Nigerian, but the project that we're doing is actually based in Nigeria, but now she's working in US. And so she went through my file, they liked it, and then she reached out to me on my LinkedIn and told me they've liked my profile. They would want me to work as a project manager for a certain project of them. If I'm able to hop into a call and an interview, to be specific, for us to get started. And truth to it, we scheduled an interview. I remember it was 12 midnight Kenyan time. It was 4 p.m. their time. And we were able to have a 15 minutes conversation, and that is how I got hired. All right. So there's so much that goes into that. It's just not that someone is going to reach out to you so that you get hired immediately. And you're going to see that in as much as there is optimizing and preparing your LinkedIn for that opportunity, there is also how you communicate and present yourself during interviews. The second one is the Institute of Project Management. If you haven't seen the full video, it's actually on my YouTube channel. You can go and check. They reached out to me to do articles sometime last year in June. I did the articles. They took like 6 months before they published them, but after they published it, they told me that they wanted me to proceed with them to work as a project manager, to represent the growth partner, to represent this whole region. And the reason why they did that is because Favicon had ranked me. If you guys don't know Favicon is a platform that ranks creators from different platforms. So it had ranked me as the best project manager in Kenya, and that is how I was picked for this role. So you can actually check the full story. I did it on YouTube. So I just needed also to highlight that, because sometimes you might be sitting on a lot of potential and you don't know. I didn't know that actually I'm the best project manager in Kenya on LinkedIn until that was mentioned. And so it got me an opportunity at the Institute of Project Management. I've worked with several companies on different projects as a project manager. I do them part-time, sometimes I do them full-time. And basically it's because of my presence on LinkedIn. I know this year I haven't been that active on LinkedIn, but I'm still trying to show up each and every time. because of work. Work has become very overwhelming. That is why I'm not showing up every time. But I try as much as possible, if I'm available, to just make sure that I schedule some posts. So many of my clients that I've coached, even I've been able to learn roles remotely. I've noticed a pattern that actually LinkedIn has worked. I know there's a platform that I normally call Brandwork, that I normally say every time has opportunities. If you've been following me for some time, you know that. But at the same time, LinkedIn has also been one of the platforms that has had a high conversion rate. If you apply it on it, you're able to actually get into a remote work through it. So now, how do you position yourself for remote job? That is the first objective of today. Even when you have little or no experience, number one is mindset. I normally tell people that you can have all the tools, all the skills, but if you don't have the right mindset, you're not getting anywhere. You're not getting anywhere with that skill. You're not getting anywhere with that platform. You're not getting anywhere with that uh, thing that you want to do. So you really need to identify your transferable skills. So remote employers care about the outcomes. You're coming to in to solve a problem and not to create a problem. So don't just say you are coming in as a project manager. Can you say which problem you're coming to solve? So remote employers basically care about outcomes and not job titles. So really need to map out what you've done you really need to map out what you've done to what they need. All right. You really need to speak their language. You really need to speak to the problem that they are trying to solve. And then the second thing is that you need to pick your remote friendly niche. All right. So, for example, if you are a writer, you stick on writing. I see people's LinkedIn. When you go on the headline section, you are doing everything. You are a medical virtual assistant. You're a writer. You are a blog post copyright, whatever. Everything you put SEO optimization. No, SEO optimization is actually a social media tool or skill, but you put it under your profile, and sometimes you even put it and you don't know how to do it. So pick your remote friendly niche. And I say remote friendly niche to be specific, because some of you, yes, want to get into remote work, but you don't have a remote friendly niche. And that does not mean that now you need to drop whatever you're doing and start lying that you can be able to be a medical virtual assistant, yet you cannot be able to do that skill. So go and learn that skill and put it there so that you can be able to learn a role in that. You can do this as a part time, you can do it as a full time. And actually, LinkedIn works best for part time. Or those of you who are on full employment and you would want to maintain your employment, but you would want to build also a brand on LinkedIn so that you can have an extra source of income, you can consider that. But also for those of you who don't have jobs, or you just want to make a 360 shift, is it 180 or 360 to move, then you really need to pick your remote friendly niche. So pick either you want to be a writer, you want to be a virtual assistant, you want to be a social media manager, or you want to do sales. Do you want to do customer success, or do you want to choose a lane? And after, do you want to choose a lane of a specific career? And then once you choose, you really need to go deep. You really need to go deep. Don't just be on the surface level. Don't just be a virtual assistant. You know, today I've been listening to one of the CEOs, who is an employer, and she was saying she runs three businesses, and it was so wild that she said she doesn't have much time. She just to wake up at 4 a.m. so that she can be able to run these four businesses, and sometimes she has to sleep as late as 11 or 12 for her to be able to manage that. And she was saying that right now, um, actually, the wild thing that I've seen her do today is that she told Cloud, she has connected Cloud to her email, sorry, to her Uber Uber Eats app. You guys know Uber Eats app. If you're in Kenya, I know you know Uber Eats app. And so she has connected Cloud to her Uber Eats app. And you know, Cloud, you can talk to it. Actually, I also use Cloud and ChatGPT so much, so you can talk to it and give it instructions. And so it tells Cloud, when it gets to 8 a.m., please order breakfast from Uber Eats, and you need to order such and such a thing from Uber Eats and do it and make it deliver at a certain time and point. And Cloud was able to actually do that and connect that and be able to order Uber Eats from whatever place that it was supposed to order to her house, and it was delivered. And so, you know, when I see such a story, I went to the comment section and people were like, rest in peace the virtual assistant career, because they felt this is something that a virtual assistant is supposed to be helping you with. They're supposed to help you because it was not about even the Uber Eats. There was about scheduling emails. There was about reminder to call someone connected to the phone. That is how AI is actually shifting the whole trajectory of everything. And so someone was like, these are things that actually you're supposed to hire a virtual assistant, given that you're a business owner for three businesses, that you're supposed to hire a virtual assistant to help you with these tasks that you're telling cloud to do it for you. And so why do I mean you really need to go deep? You really need to understand what are the trends right now. Are you just a surface level virtual assistant, or do you really understand the deeper context of actually knowing how to use AI? Right now, if you go everywhere, everyone is talking about cloud. Have you even gone to that site and checked out? As a customer support person, people are talking about HubSpot, people are talking about lead generation. What are the things that you can integrate in your journey as a customer support person so that you can be able just to deliver better results for your clients? All right. It's not about the money. If you want to really, really ace into the remote work, it's about mindset shift and not about the money. And so really, really go deeper and dig deeper. You really need to send yourself. I've just translated this from Swahili. You really need to send yourself and go so that you can be able to work and build on that. So that when someone hires you, and this actually shows why I got hired in 15 minutes conversation with the CEO altruistic, and I still work with them up until today because I still have a contract with them up until today. The reason why I was able to achieve that, it's because you are able to dig deeper and you know what is it that you're supposed to give on the table, so that when you get to have a conversation with the CEO, if you ask for 15 minutes of their time, as you're going to see the different scripts that you're going to um, that I'm going to share with you on how to reach out on LinkedIn. If you get a 15 minutes, if a CEO says yes to your request to have a 15 minutes with them, are you able to close that deal with them, or you're going to fumble when they ask you a question? So you really, really need to pick a niche and then go deep into it. And then the third thing is that you need to build proof without a job. So create a spec project. I normally say that have a mock-up project every time. Write a case study or volunteer for a non-profit portfolio of a resume. There are quite a lot of non-profit organizations that hire people to work for them, even if it's for free, so that you can be able to build your portfolio. And I've noticed that in as much as I'm giving this information, I've shared those platforms over and over again. People rarely take the action to actually just go and check out and get jobs, because someone wants to get paid immediately. You want to start working as a virtual assistant and you want to start getting paid immediately. And and sometimes people are like me, I don't want to volunteer. And so you don't have the skills, you don't have the experience, but you also don't want to volunteer to get the skills and the experience. And so you can stay other 7 more months with nothing. Like, you don't have a job, you don't have any volunteer, you don't have any skills, you're just there, you're just waiting for, and you keep on telling people, I'm looking for a job. So instead of just waiting for those 7 months, you just volunteer, and then from that volunteership, you don't know, you might get a door that will is going to open so that you can get into remote work. And then number 4 is that you need to set your rate with confidence. Research the market rates on LinkedIn, the salary. You can check on Glassdoor. I normally say you can check on Indeed, Glassdoor, or ZipRecruiter for the salary range, and then know your flow before any conversation. If you are starting out, please also know how much you're supposed to charge as someone who's starting out. There are people who have so much audacity. You're just starting out, you don't have any skill, no proof, but you want to charge like someone who has been in years. Please also check your rates. You're able to present your rates with confidence if you know your skill is good. If your skill is bad, no matter how much you try, you're not going to actually achieve whatever it is that you need, or you're not going to present yourself with that confidence that is required for you to present. Do you optimize your LinkedIn profile? This is the second part. So this is just a 6-part profile that actually attracts recruiters and clients. And just know that your LinkedIn profile is your digital CV. And as much as your CV is actually communicating or talking about you in rooms that you haven't stepped out, your LinkedIn is the digital platform. It's like your website. And I normally tell people that your LinkedIn needs to sell for you when you are asleep. I've seen people who are a project manager and program specialist. I've seen quite a lot of you are actually virtual assistants here. So there are so many profiles that maybe I'm going to give you examples so that you can go and check out. And I would want you to go and check out and ask yourself, as a virtual assistant, as a medical virtual assistant, Esther, I saw you said you're a medical virtual assistant. If you go and check other medical virtual assistant roles or other medical virtual assistant professionals and compare your profiles, do you stand a chance to get hired when a client is looking around and looking for a medical virtual assistant? Ask yourself that question. And after asking yourself that question, now ask yourself, how best can you be able to just achieve whatever it is that you need to raise the bar of your LinkedIn profile so that it can get seen. So what is the first part? Is the headline. You use the keywords plus outcome, not your job title. I know today I told you guys to introduce yourself with job titles. uh, you guys are in my community. I know most of you are in my WhatsApp community, and I've been teaching about having a unique value proposition and the statement on how to write it. Next time, maybe when we start, we are going to start with the UVP, how to actually structure and have a UVP. And so, sorry, we're going to do an introduction using your UVP because I've already done a class around that. If you have missed out any of our webinars, the free webinars, just go on the live section of our YouTube channel and you're going to see all those things there. You're going to see all the sessions there so they can be able to catch up. So next time we're going to do introductions to the UVP. So use keywords plus outcome, not just your job title. So use the helping statements. I help, I write, I optimize, whatever it is that you need to use it as the headline. And then number two is that the profile photo, professional headshot. Those of you who have profile photos that have background distraction and everything around that, please remove it. Have a professional headshot on a plain background, smile, and you are 14 times more likely to be found when you're smiling. Because some of your profiles, they scare people even before they get there. Just get a nice photo of yourself. I know you can. I know you are not photogenic like some of us, but I know you can get a good photo of yourself and use it there. And then the about section. The about section is where most of the hiring happens on LinkedIn. If I want to hire, uh, I normally hire for some organizations. Those are some of the projects that we normally do. And when I hire, I normally go to check someone's LinkedIn. And I go on the about section to really understand that this person really know what they are offering, that do they know what they bring on the table. And it's just a 3-paragraph story, not even a 3 paragraph, it can be 5 or whatever that you would want, but don't make it also long. So just say who you are, how you help that person, and a clear call to action. If I come there, I really need to see that you are communicating the problem that you're trying to solve. You're communicating how the problem is affecting your clients or the organization. As a CEO who has come to hire you, do you understand my problem? Do you know how it is affecting me? And how are you solving this problem for me? And then finally, the impact that I'm going to get when I work with you that I'm not going to get when I work with other people. The about section is where most of the hiring happens, guys. If you're not able to tailor it best to understand and be able just to give out whatever it is that the organization is looking for, you will not be able to actually ace it into the remote workspace using your LinkedIn. And most of the times, I normally say that please, the skills section, how you're solving this problem is not about it's not just about the skills that are helter skelter. You also need to research what are the keywords that people search for. So, like a virtual assistant, I know someone is going to look for calendar management. So, make sure you integrate those keywords into the skills section when you're talking about how you're solving that problem. So that when someone is able to search, that if someone is searching for calendar management person, they're able just to land on your profile directly from the about section. The other part that people don't know how to use is the featured section. I know most of you don't even have the featured section on your LinkedIn. Please go on your LinkedIn profile. There's a place called add profile section, add featured section, and then you start showcasing your best work. If you're a social media manager, have a portfolio of your work there. If you are a virtual assistant, have a portfolio of your work there. If you are a customer support, you've been solving people's problems, have the case studies there. If you want people to book you, you're a project manager, have your Calendly there. Make it easy for people to reach out and to book for your services. Make it easy for people to understand what are the services that you're offering on LinkedIn. All right. make it easy for people to just reach out to know, like, now I've read your about section. This can be a client who just need an individualized session. It doesn't mean that they have a whole hiring process. And so use the featured section as the section that you can use to actually sell whatever services that you're offering. And then the experience section should be written as achievements and not duties. And please add metrics wherever possible, add the relevant numbers, and write with write the statements. Each and every bullet point should is supposed to say what you did, how you did it, and the impact that you had. And the impact is supposed to be measured and quantified. And then the last part is the skills and endorsement. Add like 10 to 15 relevant skills, and then ask your 3 connections for endorsements, so that you can be able to trigger algorithm your way, so that you can be able to pull the right people your way. And so I have done a whole LinkedIn um, checklist. It's going to be for free, but it's going to run for only 2 weeks. Once 2 weeks is done, let me just show it here. After 2 weeks, I'm going to drop it. So I'm going to share the links with you, each and everyone who has signed up on. If you signed up for this masterclass webinar, it's a webinar, it's not a masterclass, it's a free webinar. So if you signed up, you're going to get a free checklist. Let me just pull it out. So it's already on Seller. We're going to use it. I'm going to use Seller so that you can be able to get it. All right, it is not yet open. Let me check if I can get the Word document. Sarah is saying, can you be able to share the notes? Some of us are not able. This session is recorded, Sarah. So you'll get the recording to the session. Yes, Grace. Are there platforms allow one to volunteer? Yes, there are. For virtual assistants, there are. There's Catchfire. There is United Nations. Um, I've forgotten the other. There are like 5 sites that you can be able to get volunteer. But even in our academy, we are launching out our volunteer internship program that we are going to have virtual assistants to, not virtual assistant, people from different careers to volunteer with us as we try and connect them with roles. So you can check it out. What are the rates you would advise for someone starting out? It depends, Breton. Someone starting out in accounting does not charge the same way as someone starting out as a virtual assistant. Those are two different um, rates. So if you're starting out as a project manager, you cannot charge the same as someone who's starting out as a virtual assistant. So the reason I'm answering the questions right now, it's because I'm trying to open the document. I thought it had opened, but it's loading. I don't know why. All right. So this is how it has decided to open. Let me just share so that you can be able to familiarize yourself with it. So where is it again? It's a PDF. So the PDF version has refused. but now the Word document, this is how it has decided to open. So this is what you're going to get in the checklist. You're going to get, you can, if you are able just to sit down and be able to optimize your LinkedIn using this, it's going to be free of charge, but only running for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I'm going to drop it so that you can focus on something else. So you're going to do, you're going to see how to optimize your profile and your banner. And I've given examples of how a good banner should look like, and I've given an example of how a bad banner looks like, and you're going to see how actually why it is bad. I've given reasons why the banner is bad, and then you're going to see the types of profile pictures. I've used AI so that I don't use someone's image, and they tell me you went and used my image. So this is a good profile. You see why it is a good profile. This is a bad profile. You're going to see why it's a bad profile. They're going to talk about headline. Headline, you're actually allowed only to do 20 characters. And so you're going to see how to actually to tailor your headline. And then here is the about section, how to write it. Uh, that is the instruction on how to do it. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, and then the call to action. Call to action means that you have to put your email, your link, and what is it that you would want people to do. Sometimes I can read your about section and then I wonder, so what next am I supposed to do? So please also have a call to action in your about section. And then the fourth part is the featured section. I've also given instructions on how to do it. And then there is experience section, and then the skills and recommendations. And then lastly, the settings and visibility. The open to work profile, how to put it so that it can be specifically for those who are looking to hire, and not that everyone that comes on your LinkedIn does what knows that you're looking for a job. Kwanza, those of you who have that open to work on your profile picture, go and remove it. So I've given even instructions here. The other thing that I've given is how to add, how to custom your LinkedIn URL. Because sometimes I normally see when you guys share out your CVs, when you do the applications, the settings, the LinkedIn, I don't know, the LinkedIn link is a sentence of almost a paragraph. Like it's one link, but it has a paragraph. So I've also given out an instruction here how you can be able to just have your LinkedIn and your name, like a short URL that you can share everywhere, so that you don't have to be sharing a paragraph in form of your LinkedIn profile. So you will interact with the document more so that you can be able just to learn from that. Let me go back to the slide so that you can be able to finish this. And yes, we can have more conversations after this when we are finished. So when we finish, not when we are finished. When we are finished, we can get finished. Looks like a death sentence. All right. So how do you find opportunities without endless applications? I read a post on Facebook, and I think I made even a video about it, where the person are talking about that nowadays actually jobs are not getting advertised. 70% of the jobs are actually filled without being posted. Whatever you choose to do with this information is up to you. If you're waiting for someone to post a job, it's up to you. Even right now, when I want to launch volunteer and internship programs for our academy, I already know the people that maybe I might consider to just get in. Instead of them applying, I can just tell them, okay, you can get in. Because I've worked with them and I've experienced their work, and I'm seeing that actually they are good people that are able just to work. I work with them for 2 months and then connect them with jobs, because we want to start doing outsourcing with jobs outside, that is in the US to be specific. And so most of these jobs you won't see them advertised. In as much as I would want to post a job on my website, most of the times you won't see it there, because most of the hiring is just happening in between. Have I worked with you? You're looking for a job, and I've worked with you and I've seen you actually doing a good job in on your end. So that means that I can actually trust you to come and help me with a certain or a specific uh, thing that you would want to do. I would want you to do, and then you're able to actually achieve the results that you need to achieve. That is getting into remote work. Around that, everything to get into remote work. So I know I've rambled there so much, but anyway, yes, that is it. So what is the opportunity stack? So the search hack, I think I've already uh, done this over and over again. You use the LinkedIn's offer to work filter, plus Boolean searches strings to find decision makers and not the HR. So you really need to search. Number one, you need to really connect first with CEOs, founders. You're a virtual assistant, and that is where you really need to define. And I've done quite a lot of classes on unique value proposition. You really need to find out who are the clients that you would want to work with. Put that client, go on LinkedIn, look for those clients, connect with them, and then you can also go and check out what are the jobs that are being posted out here. Don't go on the job boards. Most of the people go on LinkedIn on the job boards. Don't go on the job boards, but focus on the jobs that might be getting posted or in the comment section. And then number two, have a social proof. Comment meaningfully on people's posts by hiring managers, even if it's not a hiring manager. But when I say hiring managers, I don't mean only HRs. You can go and comment on posts on CEOs, on experts, on coaches and founders, uh, on anyone that you would want to work with. And that is why I told you that unique value proposition is very important, so that you don't have to be commenting on each and every post that you're seeing. You comment on specific posts so that you can get seen and get hired by that person. And so comment meaningfully. And when I say meaningfully, don't say great post. I love your perspective. I enjoy this. Please go deeper and explain what is it that you really learned from that post and how you're going to help that person. Very important. And then the third thing is the warm leads. Turn job posting into connection requests to the hiring manager and not just applications. Sometimes for someone to actually advertise for a job, for you to now start DMing them and telling them you're looking for a job. And that is why I told people that when you look for a job from a point of desperation, it is going to be very different role, especially on LinkedIn, because you're going to talk to people from a point of desperation. Instead, please have warm leads, have people that you're already connecting with, network, talk to people first, build a connection with them, let them know who you are before you pitch. And even if it's not being in their inbox, just let them know who you are when you're posting on LinkedIn. All right. And then the fourth part is referrals. Ask second degree connections for introduction, warm referrals. A warm referral is 4 times more likely to convert. And so there's this notion that actually rose last year that you really need to start posting on LinkedIn for you to get clients. And most people actually took that seriously and they started posting on LinkedIn. People started doing 6 posts on LinkedIn, 5 posts, 3 posts every day on LinkedIn. But there is a hack that is not just about posting, it is about also how you connect network. If you're just posting and commenting on people's posts, that is how you're going to live for 1 year, posting and commenting. You're not getting any feedback from anywhere. This applies to actually those of you who are also on Facebook and you're posting and you have considered to post on Facebook. Please consider the DMs also. Consider to build a personal relationship with people. You see that colleague of yours that you have in the office, please don't talk to them on LinkedIn. You already know them. Make it a point. As an organization right now, as we are doing outsourcing, we want to start connecting people for jobs outside. What we are challenging ourselves to do every day is to at least to reach out to 10 new managers and coaches and CEOs and people who own companies in the US and are actually willing to hire remotely in the US. 10 new every time. And so this is because of the organization. That is how we're doing that. But if you're not an organization person, just tell yourself every day, I just want to reach out to one person, and just have a network with them and have a connection with them and reach out to them, and so that you can be able to do what? To have a relationship with them, so that when you reach out for a job, it is easier for them to actually tell you, I don't have that job right now, or I can just recommend you to my friend who has been looking for such a person. Or sometimes they have someone who would want to hire you for a role or hire a virtual assistant. Let's just say virtual assistant to be specific. And so they say there's someone who's looking for virtual assistant. Would you be interested? So create relationships. Create relationship. Even us as an organization, yes, we're reaching out and we're looking for, like I'm telling them, I can help you to hire the best talent, and now we connect them with most people in Africa. And I still have to actually create a connection and a relationship with them before I start pitching to them that idea. And that is what works out. And so please, if you are choosing the path to actually start posting on LinkedIn, please also choose the path of actually sending out a DM. And that checklist that I've sent you, as we're going to see, is it has how you can reach out to different people at different levels as we go. So network and send messages that get replies. Please, the perfect called message framework is that have the hook. I know this is where most people are getting stuck every time. There are some of you who don't post, they're just on people's DMs. But if you choose the path of not posting and you're in people's DMs, please also have a well optimized LinkedIn account. Your LinkedIn cannot be shoddy and you're reaching out to people's DMs and asking them for jobs. If you are posting, please, in as much as you're commenting, I know you guys can testify. If you've been posting the whole year or you've been posting for 3 months, uh, I'm sure your DM is still dry. Nobody's looking for you. Nobody's buying anything of yours. It's because you're supposed to also reach out and build relationships with people. People buy from relationships. People don't buy from the jargon work that you're posting on LinkedIn and keeping to and keeping it out there. And so the perfect framework is this. First, have a hook on your message. Please, someone is going to open your message, so you really need to hook. Reference something specific about them. That is how you hook them. Most of you, when you start, I've seen that severally, even on my LinkedIn. That hi, my name is this and this. I'm a virtual assistant. I'm looking to do this and this and this. Please, please, please. Those things no longer work. And that is why you're not getting replies when you're sending DMs and saying that you're looking for clients, either on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever platform that you're going. Please have a hook. Reference something specific about them. It can be a post, an article, or a shared connection. Let me tell you guys how I got my coach, the one who coaches me from Ireland. She's not she has worked in the UK for a long time, and now she has gone to Ireland because she finished working and right now running her own consultancy. So what happened is this: I had taken an internship project management role with Akenshua. Akenshua is actually in UK, so I took an internship role with them for 1 month. All right. So 1 month with them. And then I was able to learn some things and then I left. Actually, the internship program is still there. So if you're a project manager and you would want to work with them, you can go and check out and apply with them. 1 month, and I was able to work with them. And I left the organization. And so, how did I pick the conversation with the coach? I noticed that the coach had worked in Akenshua for 15 years. All right, for 15 years. She had already left, but she had worked there for 15 years. And so I went on her DM. And you know what I told her? Hi, I called her name. I don't want to mention the name. Hi, I called her name and then I told her, I noticed that you have been working in Akenshua, which is something that is very common with me. I did an internship there. I would really love to learn your experience around that. How has this been? And that is how I was offered a coaching session and I've been able to actually been coached up to this point in time. And so reference something specific about them, a post, an article, or a shared connection. Don't just reach out to someone with no information or nothing that is connected to them. And then number two, state why you are relevant in one sentence. People are looking for value. I mean, when you're reaching out to someone, they're looking for value. They're looking for what you can bring. They're looking for how you are going to help them and not how they're going to help you. So when you're reaching out from a point of you want to be hired and you want money, they're just saying this one needs money. They are very desperate for a job. And so they're not going to help me with whatever thing that you'll need. And then number three is that ask. Make a tiny low friction ask. You can actually tell them you need a 15 minutes call so that you can be able to discuss your skills with them. Or you can have a question or a specific resource that you can share with them so that they can be able to buy into your service and whatever you're doing. And then keep it under 75 words. Please, those long messages get ignored. Short ones get read. So 75 words, uh, reference something specific about them, and then use relevant, state why you are relevant in one sentence. All right. And then have an ask, a low friction ask, a specific resource, or don't just start forcing them. I would love to help you with the people who actually come on my DM and tell me, I'm a virtual assistant, I'm looking to get you such and such I would want to help you to do such and such a thing. And you tell them, now I'm not looking for someone in your career, and I would, if maybe I get a referral, I'll get to tell you. And then they tell you, what is it that you offer? I can do anything for you. Just tell me what is it so I can be able to help you. You know, at that point now you're creating friction with that person. And what they're going to do is that they're going to now snob your message and your entire messages that you're going to send to them anytime that you're going to reach out to them. And then, guys, when you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, this is actually how you monetize your LinkedIn account. If you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, If you want to work with one person, you have to reach out to almost 100 people. The people who say, I've been reaching out to people, I've been sending cold DMs and everything around that, and they're sending their cold DMs the wrong way. And number two, they're sending 5 messages and then they take 6 months to send another one. Please be consistent at it. Do it over and over again. You have to be very vigilant. You need this job. So you really need to send the cold messages more and more, reach out to people. And the worst that can happen is that they can reject you. And rejection is part of the journey. Most of us have been rejected. Even right now, as we are doing the outsourcing and we would want to now roll out our internship program, we are still getting rejection. You might think Joanne has really worked in the industry for a long time. She has a project management roles that she has gotten. Quite a lot of companies have been able to pitch. I'm still getting rejections. But you know what? You don't let rejection stop you. You know the goal and you have to achieve the goal. So the do's is that personalize every message with their name. Don't have one message that you're sending everywhere. Please, don't paste the same message to everyone. Each and every person has their own specific reference that you're going to put in. So, for example, if someone is a project manager, the message is going to be different if you're reaching out to a coach or a CEO. All right. So, don't send the same message everywhere. And then focus on their problem, not your need. Every time I see the DMs that people send out, I normally see them from a point of this one is just focusing on their need. Okay, they need money, they are desperate, they need a job, so they're focusing on that. Please focus on their problem and how you're going to solve it for them. And then don't ask the job in the first message. I told you, you really need to build relationships with people. If you want to get into remote workspace, you have to really send yourself and go. I'm just translating that from my Kiswahili. Ujitume na uende. So send yourself and go. So tell yourself you're going to reach out to 5 people every day, create a relationship with them, network, have a 15 minutes call, conversation with them. You have to talk to people. You have to talk. If you're an introvert, I'm so sorry. At this point, I'll just tell you that you're too broke to be introverted. You have to really put yourself out there, step out of your comfort zone, and be able just to ask for relationships and networks with people, and then that will translate into money. And then follow up after 5 days politely. Politely. Some people follow up more than twice in a day. Hi, have you seen this? Right now, if I tell you, if you reached out to me on LinkedIn on Thursday, I've not been able to reply to you up until today. And the next time I'm going to reply, maybe it's going to be on Monday, which is tomorrow. And it's because my schedule has been very occupied and I've not been able to sit down and just be able to reply to the different DMs that I've had on LinkedIn. And some of you, if someone does that, you're there reaching out, hi, have you seen this? And people in the US are very busy. They don't even have time to come to check their DMs. You're now busy following up with messages, bombarding. By the time they come back after 1 week, they are like, hey, this person has sent me 10 messages all at once to try and follow up. Please follow up after 5 days. If they don't reply, try again after 2 weeks. All right. And then engage with their content before messaging. Don't write a wall of text. Some of you have written, I don't know if there's a limit of 1,000 words that you're supposed to write so that you can be able to get that. So don't write a wall of text. Just write the value that you've given. I've given you a perfect cold message framework. And if you go on this checklist here that you're going to receive, let me just share it with you. You're going to see the different here it is. You're going to see the different outreach scripts. So you're going to see the connection request if you're just trying to send a connection and be able to build a relationship. If you are reaching out to someone who would want them to hire you, and then you're reaching out to a potential client, or you're reaching out, or you're following up with them. So you're going to see the template. They're different. This is actually a whole document. It's just that I don't know what's happening with the document on my laptop, but when you are able to download it from Seller, you'll be able just to see that. So you're going to see the connection request note, the cold message for hiring, the cold message for potential clients, and then the follow-up rule, how you follow up. And then lastly, no, second last is the if you're asking for referral or introduction to another person, let's say your connection, like for example, you have identified me and you've noticed that I'm connected to someone, and you'd want me to refer you to that person so that you can be able to get a role from them. And then the last is the value first outreach. So you're going to read this as you go through the script. And then I think now I'll not be coming back to this document. I've given you a 30-day reminder so that you can be able just to grow yourself on LinkedIn. And I would want you to take this as an experience of your growth. Even if you don't get a role, it's something that you're going to grow in. And when you get rejections, I normally say when you get those rejections, you are building your muscles. Nothing is going to actually um, nothing is going to scare you because you already got rejected on LinkedIn. And the worst that can happen is actually being rejected. And I've heard quite a lot of people saying that actually they have gotten rejections on LinkedIn. They still send the DMs. I had there's a CEO that Yvonne Kanye brought on the Founders Diary. If you guys listen to that podcast, and she was saying that for her, she normally sits down on LinkedIn to send out quite a lot of messages. And for her, in her mind, when she's sending out those messages, it's because she just knows that the worst that can happen is that someone will reject you, and rejection has never killed anyone. So sit down and make it a resolve that you want LinkedIn to work for you. Whether you're going to do it full time or part time, that is what you're supposed to be doing every time. And so this is your 30-day action plan. I didn't have much. That is actually coming to the end of it. So this is the 30-day action plan. The week one is the foundation. You need to choose your niche and target audience. You need to rewrite your headline about section and experience. You need to add your featured section, add portfolio and proof, and then connect with at least 20 people in your target space. And then week two, please build on your visibility. Start your first piece of content, comment on 5 posts, send 10 personalized connection requests, and then identify 20 target companies or potential clients that you would want to work with. And then the last 2 weeks, you can start sending out messages using the framework that I've shown you, and then follow up on unanswered messages, and then ask 2 connections for introduction or referrals, and then schedule your first call or pitch, then close it. Please make sure that you also schedule calls. If you see this is someone that you would want to work with, you can ask them for 15 minutes of their time. And when you go there, please go when you are well researched and well knowing which problem you're going to solve for people. You're now ready. Your LinkedIn should be actually your 24/7 sales representative. So you optimize it once, let it work for you every day. The last time I optimized my LinkedIn was actually in December. I have a plan to optimize it again in June. It's because for me, I'm a creator, so I have to keep on optimizing it and changing it with time. But when you want just someone to optimize, or if you optimize it well, you can do it once and it can serve you forever. So identify your niche and transferable skills, build up a profile that ranks and converts. And I told you that if you are in your career, you can go and check out which are the other people in this career and how have they been able to present themselves. And then use opportunity stack to skip the queue, and then send messages with the 4-part framework. And then execute the 30-day plan, because knowledge without action is just going to sit in your head and you're going to do nothing around it. So in as much as you're looking for, I know most of you followed because you know you've been posting on LinkedIn and it hasn't been converting, or you've been looking for jobs. The jobs are actually in people's DMs. Jobs are actually in people's DMs and not whatever you think they are. And so this is how we help people who want to get into remote work. You can reach out to us to get an ATS compliant CV, get your LinkedIn optimized with us, a 1-minute introductory video preparation, an AI interview preparation, a remote interview preparation, how to apply for the jobs and get them. I actually have a package to help you to be able to land clients on LinkedIn. You can also reach out to that. Where to apply for the jobs, and then the coaching sessions that you need so that you can get a role remotely. So if you need any of these services, feel free to WhatsApp us. I know you have my WhatsApp number. If not, it's everywhere. You can ask for it, or you can actually send an email to this info@fortuneacademy.com. Yeah. And then we have a masterclass that is coming up from 13th to 15th of May. Investment is 1,500, and this is basically for those of you who want to get into remote work. And we are going to do an ATS compliant CV together, a LinkedIn optimization profile step by step together, We're going to do an AI interview preparation. Together, we're going to do a remote interview. We're going to do um, how to apply for the jobs, the sites, and actually how to get them. And you're also going to have an access to one of our accountability groups so that you can be able just to um, grow yourself and be able to get into remote work. So the investment is 1,500. It's 3 days. Why 3 days? It's because this is going to be more practical. It's going to be step by step to show you how to actually get these things done and get into remote work. And also there's also an accountability group. So the investment is worth it. So I'm going to take some few questions and then we can close this free webinar. If you need any help, just feel free to reach out. You see, my number is there and actually the email is there. You can be able to reach out. What are the rates? I think let me just continue with the thread. When we are hiring for clients, where do you post or do you do it randomly? So number one, I normally connect some of my students. If I get a role and I see that there's a student of mine that is doing well, and I know I can trust her or him to do the job, I normally connect them directly. Number two, I normally post them through the company's website. Sometimes I can come and share in my community. Those of you are in my community, I don't know if you guys really tap on those jobs and check them out. So sometimes I normally post them in the community. I might not say I'm the one hiring, but I think people who are in my community have seen a friend of mine. I normally say a friend of mine is hiring this. If you need this role, just apply. So I normally share the links on the community. I don't say directly I'm the one hiring because of all the logistics of people coming and telling me, oh, give me that job, or and everything around that. And then the other thing is that right now we are now building on our website. I think you've already seen the MVP of our website, where we are now going to put most of the roles there, given that we are going to start to do outsourcing for different companies. We're going to put most of our roles there. So you can follow us. You can actually join the community. It's easier when you join the community because the community is where I share most of the links that you would want. Consider me when that is out. Okay, Grace, I will. You will make applications so that you can be able to get there. I haven't been able to verify my LinkedIn with ID. What could be the issue? Because, Grace, LinkedIn is not verified with an ID. It's verified by with the passport. And there is a technique around that. It's not even, there's a chip that you're supposed to scan. And when you're scanning it, you scan it up, down until it catches it. Sometimes when you scan, we normally scan horizontally. So there's so much around verifying your LinkedIn account, but you use passport. You don't use your national ID. It's not going to pick. How can we apply to volunteer at the academy? The details will be out. If you're in the community, you'll be able. If you're not in the community, just WhatsApp. If you WhatsApp my number, +254, actually it's here on the screen. If you're able to WhatsApp, you're going to get an immediate message. The message has some links. One of the links is the WhatsApp community. So just join once we roll out the internship. I think my community people are the people who are going to get the information first. Volunteer sites, I'll share them in the community tomorrow because I cannot remember. I only know Catch Fire and United Nations. There are three more that I've forgotten, but I know where they are. So I'm going to share them. Let me do it as something for tomorrow. Would you kindly share a sample ATS compliance CV for Berlin? Yes, I did share. On 14th of February, actually, I shared out an ATS compliance CV. So if you missed out, I don't know. Right now, I don't have a sample for that, but I had shared it on 14th of February. You can wait for the next time when we are able just to share that again. What if I don't have a passport? Is there a different? No, there's no different option, Grace. You have to use a passport when you want to verify your LinkedIn. Do you coach complete beginners? Yes, Marceline, but complete beginners, please have a skill. Please come with a skill first. Learn the skill first. If you are still confused about the skill that you need to choose, let's say maybe you are in a physical job but you want to get into remote work and you would want to get a skill. You would want to get into remote work. You need to learn a skill that is going to help you to get into remote work. So if you're still confused on what you need to get into, maybe you can book a one-on-one with me. I'm able to help you to tell according to your strengths, according to the market, and your passion. It's normally three: your skills, the market, and your passion. Those three combined. And I'm able to help you to identify those three and we can be able just to combine the three and give you something that you can be able to learn. Is it a must to verify LinkedIn? Even mine is not verified, Esther, and I've gotten quite a lot of opportunities on there. So it's not a must for you to verify. This also applies to those of you who have LinkedIn Premium. Please, I've never subscribed. By the way, I've never subscribed to any LinkedIn Premium. I've never. And I've actually been doing hiring. I know hiring managers are like, how have you been able to do hiring? I've just been able to navigate through it. So don't even pay for the premium. Do you think that posting about maybe a tool you learn about is important on LinkedIn, or mainly just post about clients' problem? You need to have a mix of all, Shireen. The problem the client is going through, how you're solving the problem, post about the insights, post about the tools, post about the skill, uh, what is the new emerging trends in that field, post about that. You have to have a mix of all of that. Is the masterclass session same as coaching? No, the masterclass session is actually a group class. Coaching session is one-on-one with me, so they're different. One-on-one is 1,000 Kenya shillings for 1 hour, Bretta. I'll give two people who are going to raise their hands first an opportunity to talk. Then we close this. If you have a question that you feel you can't type, okay. Sawa sawa. Joanne Atieno.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. I had a question. Clients do reach out to me on LinkedIn. Then you find that they will reach a point that they're asking me about what I charge or what are my rates. Some of them, if I bounce back the question to them, maybe to know their budget, so that I can make maybe a package that will fit their budget. You will find
All right, Joanne, I didn't hear whatever you said clearly because you left. You're breaking. When she comes back, she can continue winning.
Yeah, hi, John.
Hi.
So, I have a question actually. Can I share something? Can I share my screen?
No.
Okay. So my LinkedIn title is virtual assistant and customer experience specialist, expert in executive support, client retention, remote work, skilled in CRM, email management, data analytics, passionate about empowering teams. So that is quite that's quite a lot of niches. There is VA, there is customer service. So when you're applying for example, executive assistants, and they want you to share your LinkedIn link, do I have to keep on editing my LinkedIn?
So, sometimes you will want to do quite a lot. There's customer service, there's virtual assistant. You said there's teams what?
There is executive support, client retention, and remote work. And passionate about empowering teams.
Yeah. So now, let me tell you one thing, Winnie. Right now, which job are you looking for?
Actually, I'm looking for customer support. I'm looking for VA. who can do the administrative work, and also executive assistants, and also lead generation. Oh my God.
You need to decide. You see, even you're telling yourself, oh my God. You need to make a decision. And that does not mean, making a decision does not mean that you're going to drop the rest. Customer support can actually be coupled with lead generation. Executive assistant is the same as virtual assistant. So choose one, then tailor your LinkedIn to that, then get a role in that. Once you get a role in that, you can decide to now start looking for that customer support role. If you get it again, you now change. Once you get a virtual assistant, you can now change into that customer support and get a customer support role. If not, you can get you can actually start with customer support, and then after that, now you change into virtual assistant. I did this. When I started out as a writer. I think most people have heard my story. I started as a writer where I was writing for different companies, copywriting to be specific, ghostwriting and copywriting specifically. Did that for 3 months. Once I got that role, I switched my LinkedIn into project management because I knew I didn't want to be a writer. I just needed something for my income. That is why I picked the writing. Then I switched it to project management. Now that I've gotten quite a lot of project management roles and I'm able to pitch on LinkedIn and actually get clients in project management, I have switched my profile now. It is now speaking more of remote work, coaching, and everything around that. So you really need to pick something that you want first to monetize, focus on it, and then after you focus on it, you can monetize it. After you've monetized is when now you pick your next role. So the thing about teens, it is a good thing. You can continue doing it, but please drop it for now. Get a role in virtual assistant on LinkedIn, and then after you finish, switch it up, then get to the next thing. You can always do these things. I know some of us are multi-talented and you don't want to drop those things. So don't just drop them. Right now, you really need to be able just to get a role, something that brings income first. And then after that, now you can bring in whatever it is that you need to bring in. I hope that helps, Winnie.
Yeah, one last question. So normally when you get these forms that you need to fill when you're applying for a job and they tell you to put your LinkedIn link, sometimes they put like it's a must, others they put optional. Do you think by me not putting the link will lower my chances of getting the job?
Just put in the link. Imagine if you have been told it's optional, you are increasing your chances to get, like you're increasing your chances to get into remote work as compared to someone who has not put in the link. Just put in even if it's optional.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what I've just gotten is that I should just choose one role, like I can say VA or customer support and just go with that.
Get it monetized, and then you can pick on the other. I know people tell me, I can't drop, I love teaching children. I love speaking what with teens. Yes, it's okay, but please, first you need to get money. Once you get something that pays you and you're now comfortable, you can now start teaching children and you can now start doing the teens work on LinkedIn. So don't confuse your audience. One thing that I normally tell people is that you want someone to pay you. You confuse people, you lose them. When you lose them, you lose money. That is how it works. Confuse them, you lose money because there are people who are supposed to pay you. There's nobody. LinkedIn as a platform is not going to pay you. It's the person that is going to pay you. So you confuse them, you lose money. Duncan is saying, teach us how to fish. Teach us how to fish directly. Okay, Duncan. But I think I've given it out. How much is the coaching session class? Coaching session, Damaris, one-on-one with me is 1,000 Kenyan shillings. I hope that is what you're asking. Ready to pay. If you're, I don't know, Duncan, what you're ready to pay for, but you can reach out. Please, before you pay, reach out to me on my WhatsApp so that I can know if whatever you're paying for is something I can hold with capacity. There are people who pay for chat moderation accounts. I don't offer such things. So please just let me know first on WhatsApp what you want to pay for, and let me know if it's something that I can do it in my capacity. If I'm not able to do it, I'll just tell you. Berlin,
Okay, I was asking. I've been working site as a sales manager, and that is okay for the on-site experience. It's all round, but when I've been trying to look for the remote roles, I see they have BDR, account executive. These things are not the same. How do I position myself for one specific one? But
sorry, I didn't get that clearly. Please repeat.
I'm saying,
Hmm.
hello, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I've been working as a sales manager, and with our on-site experience, it's all round, like it's combined SDR, BDR, and account executive. But when you come to remote, it looks like these roles are different. How can I position myself for one specific one? Like, how can I change my on-site experience to one specific role? That, yeah.
So now, as a sales representative, what I can advise you is that in as much as you're working in the physical setup, the remote work setup is different, and it's normally different in terms of skills and tools. Now that you've gone and see there's a difference, what are the different things? Because you know you're not going to work with Kenyans. So, for example, someone who is working as an accountant in Kenya, when they are supposed to work as an accountant in the US, I normally force them to learn tax laws and US GAAP regulations and everything around that, because that is the US standards, that is the UK standards. And so, as a sales and representative person, you've already noticed that it's different. The roles are different, but I don't think they are that huge difference. You can go and check what are the tools, what are the skills that are needed or required for you to be able to fit into that standard of their work. You are going to work for a different country. So that means you also need to do what? To put in a little effort to learn the skills and the tools and the things that are required for that country's sales representative person. Okay?
Okay.
Marceline,
Hello.
hi.
Thank you for this opportunity, Joanne. So I have a question.
Mhm.
I have learned medical VA, and I have optimized my LinkedIn just a little bit, but I tend to feel like sometimes I may underdeliver once I get the med VA job. So I kind of shy away from applying for jobs. So I resulted to doing another skill, which I'm doing currently. I'm doing social media management on Allison. So my question is, would you advise me to drop the med VA and concentrate more on the social media management?
Let me be honest with you, why people are very frustrated with this remote work, everything around remote work. It's because you are trying this and then you don't allow it to mature and work out. You drop it. Uh, you try something, you learn, you invest your time, you invest your mind, even if it's 2 hours of investment, and then you don't give it time to mature so that it can give you the return of investment. You know, even if you're investing time, that is, you need to get a return of investment. You don't give it much time so that it can be able to give you that return of investment. You go on TikTok or you go somewhere and you notice someone, people are advising you to do something, and then you drop, you go to the next one. Let me tell you, Mercy, you don't have the confidence because you've never worked as a medical VM. But at the same time, you've never worked as a social media manager. So are you going to learn social media management and then drop and then pick up another thing? and then continue that way. So what I'll advise you is that you get a client that you can volunteer with. Build your skills as a medical virtual assistant. Start from volunteer. Start from a point of you don't have to pay me. Start from a point of I just want to intern with you guys. Don't drop. Because 1 year, 2 years down the line, you'll come and tell me, I've been applying for jobs, I've been trying these things that have not been working, and my head is overwhelmed, I'm tired, and everything around that. And in real sense is that you've been dropping like hot potato. You've been dropping like hot potato. And actually that is now the most difficult part. You're not willing to put your brain to actually do the difficult part of this journey. And so now you're gonna pick on the easy path where it's just learning and then you go. Learning and then you go. So please, if you ask me right now, drop the social media management training, go back to the medical virtual assistant, get a client, volunteer, start building your career as a medical virtual assistant, and start learning the things that are happening in the medical VA space. All right? And then later
Okay.
on now, when you like to be a social media manager, you can now pick up the social media management role or skills later on. So
All
that you
right.
can get income.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Wanja, I think I've said for one-on-one is 1,000 per hour. Are there roles for a trainer online? Yes, quite a lot of them. I find it easy to teach, and I don't know how well to package myself. What do you teach, Grace? I think maybe you can book one-on-one with me. We have only 4 minutes. I close this. This was supposed to end at 9:30. So we have 3 minutes. And I'm seeing some hands are still up. So roles as a trainer, you need to package yourself. What is it that you're good at? And that is why I told you that when you come to me and you're still confused on what to do online, we're going to sit down and evaluate what are your skills, what are your passions, and what is the marketplace saying. And then you combine the three and you're able to get something that you can be able to do online as a trainer. I find it easy to teach and I don't know how well to package myself. Yes, Grace, we can be able to do that. All right, Marceline, you're being encouraged here by Lucy that you're doing well. Please cease from doubting yourself. Interesting. How about cold emails? Faith Chelimo. Cold emails are basically for sales people and lead generating people. Faith Chelimo. But it's so deeper than that. I don't want to get into the sales and the lead generating stuff, but maybe next time. I'll reach out. Thank you, Grace. I'm giving 2 people. Naona mkono zao ziko juu. Those that have already seen their hands are up, and then we close this. Please make it as short. You're only allowed to ask 1 question so that you can be able to close this. Esther.
Hello, Joanne.
Hi, Esther.
We meet again here.
Yes, nice to see you.
All right, I was asking about something to do with mock-up projects. If you do those mock-up projects, what will you get in that section of when you do experience? What will you get there? Which company will you say you worked on?
You worked as a volunteer. You can say multiple companies. Just say multiple companies. And then write.
So you can say
Sorry?
So you can say you can imagine a company, or you can just say you worked as a volunteer.
You say you're a volunteer on the company section, you say multiple companies.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Marceline and Berlin, I'm seeing your hand are still up. Are you still asking questions?
Yeah, I
Yes,
have.
I was asking, are there platforms for salespeople to volunteer so that we can give maybe like a remote experience?
Yes.
We can get that remote experience.
Tomorrow, I'm going to specifically share sites that you can be able to volunteer as a remote worker on this and the links. So if you are able to.
Also, I was asking, is sales really marketable in the US ama juu sijaona watu wengi LinkedIn na sales reps wakiwork remotely?
I'll be honest, you need to change it to business development. I almost got hired for a business development representative role because there are people who are looking. And actually, let me tell you guys, these opportunities are not advertised. Someone reached out to me and they wanted me to do for them business development representative. At that time, I already picked up the coach, that is my coach in Ireland. And when I shared this with her, she told me, you will be hurting your career because I wanted to get into project management. So that means that the BDR, that is the business development role, it wasn't suitable for me. Most of these opportunities are there, but they are not advertised as much as you think. You can go to a site like Brandtwork Careers, go and check sales. Go and check the sales and marketing section. You're going to see the opportunities that are there, but you really need to really tweak yourself to fit into their standards. Mostly at BDRs, they are on LinkedIn, and actually hiring is happening in the DM section. DM, not advertisement, not the flashy things that you would want to see on LinkedIn. DM. I've gotten quite a lot of invites to be a BDR, and that is why I'm telling you that.
You can share my CV.
I'll share them when I get them. But I normally share them in my community. Sometimes I don't just say these are opportunities that have been given. Like you see the two screenshots that I showed you when I was starting, the ones that I showed you that people reached out to me, I returned the jobs. I actually told them I'm not available for the jobs. And I told them that I'm going to refer so that people can apply for the jobs. Because for me, I have a lot on my plate already. I'm working with quite a lot of people. I was not able to bring the jobs on my table. And so I told them, can I be able to refer some people to come and apply so that I can be able to get the best? And they said yes. And I shared the links actually on my community. So I normally share those opportunities. It's just that some people see them and they pass, or see them and they don't even apply, or they don't put in the effort to apply. All right. So I normally share them. And that is why we're creating our website. I think we will be putting most of those jobs on the website. I think so that you can be able to apply them from there. So I normally share them, and majorly with my community. Because when you follow me on the different platforms, you rarely hear that I have a role you go and apply, or I don't really like. It's easy for me to share on WhatsApp than other platforms because content creation sometimes is very hard when it comes to that. Mercy?
Okay, still on the MedVA, I want to ask now on LinkedIn, how do I show my past work, my projects?
Mock-up projects. Go on
Yeah.
ChatGPT
Uh-huh.
and give it an instruction to tell it you are a medical virtual assistant. You don't have any experience, but you would want to build a portfolio.
Okay.
So can it give you projects that you can work on for 3 months
Okay.
so that you can be able to build your skills? Once you get that, please work on those projects as if you're working on a client. Take a proof of your work and use that as your experience for 3 months.
Okay. Thank you.
Faith?
Okay, hi John.
Hi.
Yeah, so actually I was scrolling through LinkedIn today evening, then I saw your link, then I booked and I loved out it was immediately. I just got the link immediately and I joined the meeting 16 minutes late. But my question is, would you advise someone maybe to put their rates, their entire rates, maybe monthly packages on a portfolio? Then another question, I got my first client through cold emailing. So I was asking maybe, do you have any tips on cold emailing? Yeah, I generated leads on Apollo. Then I went ahead and do cold pitching through emails. So will you have any tips? Maybe I can.
Well, I was avoiding that cold email thing because it's a whole, you see, you go and get lead generations through Apollo and then you reach out to them directly. It's a whole dynamic that I wanted to avoid. But yes, you can get clients on through cold email, but you really also need to identify the problem that you're trying to solve for them. And when you're sending an email out, package it from a point of view, really understand the problem you're trying to solve for them, and how best you can be able to deliver whatever it is that you need to deliver for them so that they can be able to hire you through that. What was the other first question?
So the other question was about, will you advise someone maybe to put the entire packaging on portfolio? Will you just wait for the client to ask what are your rates?
You can put, and I think there's someone who said that they normally send the rates and the clients sometimes keep quiet or they don't talk anything about it, or there's someone who said that they actually flip the question back. Let me just answer the two questions here because now I've remembered it. They normally flip back the question and ask them, what is your budget? When you ask the client what is your budget, it already shows some level of seriousness. So it's the same as those people who say, you tell someone, I want to work, and then they ask you, what are the skills that you have? But I can do anything. I have a laptop. It's just the same. So you can put the rates on your portfolio, but you can also indicate there that they're up for negotiation. All right. The same way, if a client asks you about your rates, give them the rates. Show them you're very serious. Give them a rate card. Show them tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Break it down so that they can be able to understand whatever it is that you're offering. And then after that, please tell them that you are up for negotiation. If they keep quiet, you can ask them, is it a budget? You are up for negotiation. All right? So put it there. About lead generation and actually cold emails, if it works, it does work, but it's the detail of the email so that you can get a reply from them, because most of these emails don't get replies. And also know that the emails that people have put out there, are they active? The people who actually opened LinkedIn accounts using the emails they opened with. Just a minute, I take water. Using the emails that they applied with, and those emails they opened account with, and those emails are inactive. So I normally use a tool like Brevo. Now we are getting into deeper details of lead generation. A tool like Brevo is able to tell you if that email is active or if that email is inactive. All right, let me give InstaStudy the last chance to do a question. The rest of you, if you have any queries, just feel free to reach out for one-on-one. We are very behind. InstaStudy, Travel Ventures Limited.
Okay, good evening again.
Good evening.
I'm sorry I was stuck in traffic and couldn't attend on time. So I just popped in like a few minutes ago. So with that being said, is it possible that at the end of this show that you could share us the recorded session for us to view it later on?
Yes. Actually, I started saying that this session is being recorded. And if you signed up using the link that I shared that you sign up, you're going to get a recording and a checklist. Yes, so you're going to get it if you signed up. Doris, thank you for reminding me. I could have forgotten. So tomorrow, let me just put you on my to-do list. Tomorrow, I schedule you for your one-on-one because I know you had already booked. Yes, so I'm going to schedule you tomorrow. We're going to have a conversation tomorrow so that we can be able to settle on the time and the date.
Okay, where should we book the session? Because on my email inbox, I don't see anything like that.
How did you join this meeting, InstaStudy?
You sent me an email, a reminder. There's a green button that says join call, which I did. And there's another second one that asked me to give a testimonial.
How do you know? How in your mind? What do you think? How did I get your email?
I signed up for this session time before.
So if you signed up for this session, that means I have your details.
Okay. Good.
And I have your email, so you're going to receive all the resources through that email.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, guys. You're going to get an instant notification from TopMate to give me feedback about this session. You can. Now today I've really rushed quite a lot of things. I haven't gone deeper. The LinkedIn monetization is something that I teach for many, many days, not one day. And I've done it a crash course in 1 hour. So if you feel there are things that I've left out, pole sana. If you book for one-on-one, maybe that thing that I've left out, you'll be able to get it. If you need to reach out to me, use my phone number, +254 758 869067, and I'll be able to help you through that. Give me feedback. You can do it anonymously. If you feel you have a negative feedback, please just send it so that we can be able to do what? To correct on that in our next sessions. If you see that we have done well, also give us feedbacks so that we can be able just to feel nice. But you know, if you get a positive feedback, you feel nice. So share the feedback. You're going to get the prompt. I think it has already been sent. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. For those of you who have Estambasho, save your number. I normally save people's numbers, but when I've worked with you, so that is the other thing also. Unless I work with you is when I'm going to save your number. So reach out to me on WhatsApp though. Benedict, thank you so much. Very insightful. I'll reach out for one of you. Welcome. Thank you, Marceline, Lucy, every one of you. We are behind time. I need to get going. So thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next free webinar or the next sessions that you're going to have.